Say fuck, you say Trump. Fuck. Trump. Fuck. Trump. When I say not mine, you say president. Not mine. President. Not mine. President. When I say fuck, you say Trump. Fuck. Trump. Fuck. Trump. Yes.
In the morning after, I remember going to campus and thinking, I think it was a cloudy day too, so it really added to the general mood. It was very grim, it was very sad. It almost felt apocalyptic. But then when I got home, I was like, wow, I might be projecting my own bias on, what happened from last night. It might actually not be as bad as it seems. But there was, especially in the political science department, there was a sense of shock. I remember speaking to professors the morning after, and they didn't even expect the results, like the outcome.
I walked around on campus around 8 o'clock, and I just noticed it was very quiet, and it's never been quiet before. Even that early in the morning, everyone's bustling around to get places, but it was quiet, and that's when it kind of hit you that as much as we've been joking about selection and seeing SNL skits everywhere, it is very real, and it's real for a lot of people, especially for people who, are, I wouldn't say foreign exchange students, but students that are from the US that, inevitably at the end of their academic career have to go back to a state that's led by someone like Donald Trump.
It's just something that we wouldn't expect to happen in American politics. But if it were to happen anywhere, it would happen in American politics. That makes any sense.
And all these things that I think come with being an immigrant to a new country, and that's what makes places like North America so great.
Why do you think this election was so different from the previous elections, and why did it elicit that kind of reaction? And even further than that, why do you think it's affected international communities the way it has, specifically for us, a community of international students here at McGill?
Well, I think the answer is clear as day, is the fact that America is this hegemonic state. I mean, it controls everything, right? It controls the economy, it controls foreign affairs, it controls military activity. And so, I heard all the time that people were like, oh, if this election happened in another country, it wouldn't matter. And that, to an extent, is true, because no one really holds power like the United States holds power.
Everyone has their eyes on the American politics, so it was just, and especially with this politics, it was more of an entertainment-y TV show than it was actually politics,
in my opinion. Reality show.
Because even SNL, it became a show worldwide. Everyone was watching it because there's different fronts and different kinds of areas that people were watching these kinds of shows.
And again, I think the reason it was such a important election to watch, to monitor, and to just experience and participate in is because Donald Trump actually legitimized some of the grievances, the far right-wing policy positions, and he gave them a voice. And now they're part of the general political mosaic, which makes it a bit more complex.
I think just the presentation and the rhetoric surrounding it has enabled a certain white nationalist backlash against the Obama years that was certainly felt, but now has been legitimized on a really wide scale and amongst many different groups that were in the shadows of American mainstream political life before and have come to the forefront.
Maybe we've started to see a leftward trend, people starting to get better, especially socially, people standing up for other people, trying to show solidarity, trying to show support, and suddenly we've just seen a dramatic fight back by the right. But it's a system that's dying, right? It's a system that hopefully will actually unite the left more than it will divide it, and divide the right more than it will unite it.
What are your biggest hopes, your biggest fears in the wake of the election? Do you think there's, a positive way of moving forward, or?
I think it's positive because now it's, this election has turned the heads of so many people, especially young people like us, that we're getting involved in politics, and we're raising our voices, we're challenging institutions, we're challenging the system that we live in, right? And so it's the idea that, granted the results came the way they did, but that doesn't mean that the fight is over.
Things aren't that different than they were just a year ago. And I think that is a silver lining, is that all of the progress we've made as a nation is still there, and it can't be unraveled by just one president. And I think it's made people more compassionate. It will force us to be more compassionate.
You know, compassion is the one way to go, is just be compassionate to yourself, to others, and to your family, and that'll get you through the day.
Can I hear everyone say something? Can I hear I will support a friend? I will support a friend. I will support a U.S. friend. I will support my black friends.
I will support my black friends.
I will support my queer friends.
I will support my queer friends.
Woo! Thank you all.